Good evening and welcome back to the channel. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research, make your own decisions. All right, guys, I'm going to go over my portfolio. I've been asked several times to do this. I said I would do it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I just never got to it. So I'm just going to go over my core positions, and I'm just going to do it on my cell phone as opposed to doing it on my computer. Guys, I've been showing my buy orders on a weekly basis for like forever. As soon as my community tab opened. Before that, I just used to do videos and show screenshots, but I'm about as transparent as it gets as it relates to this. So first, before I get into the breakdown and everything, this is only going to be my core positions. I have like 30 some positions in all, but this is just like the 12 or so positions I consider my core positions. And there would be other cryptocurrencies in here if they were on Coinbase. For those of y'all who have been with me for the beginning, you know I had issues with these different exchanges starting out, and for the most part I just use Coinbase now, and I just buy and send it to my wallet. So just want to make that point, and I'll go over the different ones that would be in my portfolio in my core positions if they were on Coinbase. So ICP is 50%. Stellar and Algorand are both 7% each. Link and HBAR are both 5% each. And then AMP, Polygon, DOT, Cosmos, Quant, Bitcoin, and Ethereum are all 3.7-ish each. So that's the general breakdown. Now, that's kind of where they're at in dollar-denominated value today. If I were to do total capital invested in the same breakdown, the numbers would shift to some degree. Not a huge amount, but they would shift. But I just had to pick one, so I just chose to do dollar-denominated value, you know, in recent history. So I do want to explain something. I was not planning on making ICP that big in my portfolio. However, the fact that it dropped 99% and stayed down 99% for such a long period of time caused me to change my general plan on what I was going to do. And, you know, if ICP would have, if $20 would have been the bottom for ICP, it would likely not be this large of a percentage of my portfolio. But 20 wasn't the bottom, and it continued to drop, and it stayed down over 99% for such a long period of time. You know, when things go up past my purchase price, I pull back and I start dollar cost averaging into other positions that are still further down. So for example, let's go back to June, and you know, when the market crashed down to 17.5, thankfully I did pick up a little more Polygon, but Polygon, you know, bounces and never comes back down. Quant bounces, never comes back down. A couple others here. Cosmos, you know, I screwed up on Cosmos. I should have, I don't know. I just screwed up on Cosmos. I don't have a great, it's probably one of my only core positions where I didn't do a good job driving my average down, or just purchase it while it was already down. Like something like an HBAR, because it got listed on Coinbase late, you know, I got a relatively low average, also with DOT, stuff like that. But some positions that I would have if they were on Coinbase, XRP would be one. I would have an equal weighting in XRP and XLM. DAG would also be one. DAG, God, I looked at DAG not too long ago. The market cap was just so low. So DAG would also be one. Energy Web Token would probably be one. VeChain. And then there's probably numerous others as well. But this is what I'll say, guys. And so I also have like 20 other positions, right? And those are just smaller cap plays. And the idea behind having my portfolio like this was I originally wanted to create a portfolio that mirrored like a VC firm, because they have positions in every sector within the blockchain space. L1s, DeFi, privacy, infrastructure, so on and so forth. And so that's kind of was my idea when I was putting my portfolio together. And in all honesty, guys, like I would have positions in most of the blue chips, if not all of them, if I had unlimited capital, and if I had access to all of them. But I have tried to stay away from the ones that have larger market caps as far as the blue chips, and focus on the ones that have smaller market caps. And yeah, so that's that. Now, pause on that. So a lot of times, I think that there was a lot of people that thought that only one or two network protocols were going to make it. And in my opinion, if you start to understand the scope and the size of what they're doing, and if you take into consideration that, in my opinion, all web-based platforms and applications are going to have some distributed ledger functionality, this is a very, very, very big job, guys. And I think that there's going to be a lot of layer ones that ultimately make it, just because the job here is so big. I mean, it's bigger than I can wrap my mind around. So yeah, and I say that because, you know, there's going to be a lot. I think sometimes, you know, people see something else happening for some other network protocol or some other crypto company, and they see something positive happening for them, whether it be like institutions adopt or something happens or the price, you know, starts shooting up, and they automatically think that something good happening for something else reflects poorly on whatever it is that they're holding. And, you know, I think this probably stems from the idea that only a handful are going to make it. And, you know, I think over years, I mean, years, it'll consolidate down the same way big tech did. But I think for the next 5, 7, 8, 9 years, you know, I think a lot of them are going to be adopted by large institutions. I think most of this is probably already mapped out, who's going to be working with who, which networks are designed to be used by which industries, so on and so forth. And, you know, I think there's just tons of opportunity here. And so for me, I have more positions because I wanted to structure my portfolio in a way that in order for my portfolio to fail, they're going to have to tank the whole system. And as opposed to, while I do have, you know, I mean, if you follow my channel, you know that I've been buying ICP like a madman for a very long time, especially here over the last 6 to 8 months. But even with as bullish as I am on ICP, I'm not going to, at this stage, only have one position. I'm not saying that I think that you should feel the same way, right? I mean, if you're all in on one position and that's your max conviction bet and you're 100% conviction, you know, knock yourself out, you know. But for me, I just am taking no chances, and I really wanted to structure my portfolio so they're going to have to destroy all of this for my portfolio to fail. And so that's why I'm kind of at ease most times, is just like, all right, well, I mean, if they're really going to destroy the new system, then go ahead. I want to see it. So, yeah. Okay. Outside of that, I'm noticing some more people coming out and saying the bottom is in, right? And my guy, I really like Blockchain Backer. I think he's like a real down-to-earth guy, you know, pretty humble guy. And he's very, you know, mild-tempered. And, you know, he called the top correctly. Not that, you know, I think, okay, so somebody calls it last time, it doesn't mean it's going to happen this time, but he came out earlier, made a video, you know, the bottom is in, if you want to go check that out. And I've been watching him over the last couple of weeks talk about 2 different scenarios playing out after Bitcoin, you know, broke through that downtrend. 2 different scenarios, one being kind of like sideways type action for the next however many months, and then months down the road, there's a move upwards. But then he also talked about, you know, looking at 2 previous cycles where one time there was sideways action for months and months before there was a move higher, and the other time it was a consolidation period, and then we started having a move higher. But also I saw Coins Kid, old Tom, seems to think that that's also the most probable outcome here. But guys, this is what I'll say, you know, I mean, just mentally prepare yourself for either outcome. All right. And because, you know, these people control everything, and they can do, I mean, they control the market, they control the regulators, they can print money from nothing. They own everything. They own these platforms, right? I mean, they own everything. And so for people in our position, you know, we're really in a lot of situations just kind of at the mercy of whatever they decide they're going to do. And I think the market for the next, you know, however many years, I think that the price action is almost already mapped out, in my opinion. That's how fake I think most of these markets are. There's just too much at risk and too much for them to gain by manipulating this market to do exactly what they want it to do. And there's nobody that would stop them from doing that. They own the regulator. So and they can print money from nothing. So I just don't know why they wouldn't. Like, if I was in their position and I had the power and control that they did, that's what I would do. I mean, so yeah, I don't know any reason why they wouldn't do that. I say all that to just really drive home the point that don't get too, like, keep, you know, be cool, okay? Because anything's on the table, and even though a lot of technical metrics are starting to look like a reversal is in process, you know, guys, last week, UFOs were being shot out of the sky, okay? So, you know, I mean, things change quickly in 2023 and in recent years in general. And now all of a sudden it's like they might have been weather balloons or some shit like that. But we got this natural disaster happening in Ohio. And I mean, these people don't give a shit about you or me or any other normal person. We are a massive inconvenience for them. They would just assume us not be here. That what's in our best interest is not considered at all. I mean, I'm not in the meetings, but just based on their actions, what's in normal people's best interest is not considered at all. If it's considered at all, it's like, well, how do we do the opposite, right? So I just wanted to make that point. That's all I have for this video. Let me know if you have any questions. And you know, I get asked this a lot too, like, what do you think about XYZ? You know, I'll always give you, if I haven't looked into it, I haven't looked into it. And I don't want to give an incomplete opinion or position on something. I mean, guys, you know, I'm sure most of y'all are smart people. And, you know, I think that, I mean, I trust most of you to make good decisions, all right? I mean, I put a lot of value in institutional adoption. And that's why I'm so heavily involved with Stellar, Algorand, Link, HBAR, Dot, other stuff like that, AMP, Polygon. And so I'm very big on institutions being involved, institutions using the tech, because in my opinion, the degree to which, like if you're looking at, like it's on a chart, the degree to which institutional adoption decreases the risk, in my opinion. So I think that's it. That's it. Yeah. So, take care. And there's others too, because I know I'm going to get this. Somebody's going to throw out a name of some cryptocurrency that I probably would also buy. But there would be others that I would add to my portfolio too. I just don't have unlimited capital and I don't have access to all of them. So that's it, guys. Take care. Not financial advice. Do your own research, make your own decisions. I'll see you in the next video.